Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gary Racine, the chair of the City of Cambridge Accessibility Advisory Committee, and I call this meeting to order at 1:02 p.m. What I'd like to do before we move forward is turn it over to our clerk today to complete a roll call of the committee. Michael?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Allison,
Present.
Shannon,
Present.
Sarah,
Present.
thank you. CJ, I see CJ. I think she said in the chat that she's just working out some things. Is Tara here?
Present. I am present. This is
Okay,
CJ.
thank you, CJ. I don't see Tara. Barry,
Here.
thank you. Heather
Present.
and Gary,
Present.
thank you.
So thank you very much, everyone. First of all, we'd like to start off with our land acknowledgement. We embrace our shared responsibility with the First Nations people to take care of its earth and its creatures. We can only do so walking together the path as partners and stewarding this land as we have been given the duty together to live in balance, with harmony, and with all living things. We acknowledge and respect the First Nations who came before us and who we live amongst. By honoring this truth of past and present, may we come to true reconciliation through listening, reflecting, and learning. So before we get going on our path today, are there any members of the committee who would like to declare a direct or indirect pecuniary interest on any matter that's before the committee today? We have 4 guests today that are coming. So is there anything in these 4 guests or presentations that would cause an issue? I don't see any hands coming up or any people being vocal, so I would say we don't. Thank you very much. During the meeting, of course, we're going to keep using, if you will, the hands up function in Zoom. If you have a question or comment, it makes it that much more efficient. And if you do have to use the system to remind yourself of notes, we understand, or for questions of the clerk, we also understand. But if you have some background noise at your home for whatever reason and you're not talking to us, please make sure you turn off your mic so that we don't pick up on all that noise so that we can get through it. Also, I'd like to say that we're going to have to try to get a grip on our brakes, sort of mid path, if you will, so everybody gets a fair shake and gets a few minutes to recharge their batteries. So we're going to try, and we're going to try to keep it within the 2-hour session today, because I know we've had a few marathons there that were a bit longer than we had hoped. All right. Does that sound reasonable? Okay, very good. All right, so I guess, Michael, we should go with the approval of the January 28th, July 28th, 2025 minutes. Can I have a mover? Okay, can I have a seconder? Allison, so mover, CJ, and seconder, Allison. Thank you very much. I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
That's great. Thanks, Gary. Allison,
Favor.
thank you. Shannon,
In favor.
Sarah,
In favor.
thank you. CJ,
In favor.
Barry,
In favor.
Heather,
In favor.
and Gary.
In favor.
That passes. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much, everyone. On the agenda today, we have 4 guests. The first guest, I'll quickly just run through it, the City of Cambridge on the 2026 election methods. Then we're going to have the Region of Waterloo. We're going to talk about a waste management strategy. St. Luke's Place, and we've also got City of Cambridge, the W.G. Johnson new entrance doors. And so that's the 4 guests that we have today. And in between all that, we will have a break to make sure that everybody gets a chance to refresh. Now, Michael, did we have our guests waiting in the wings, or are they
Yeah, we do, Gary. Thanks. And if I'll just take this opportunity just to introduce the committee to our election coordinator, Kaylee Lundy. She's here in the room with us. Kaylee's here to just kind of give an overall presentation, looking for feedback on our proposed 2026 election methods. We do have a municipal election coming up. It'll be here before any of us know it. So Kaylee's here to just present and looks for some feedback. So Kaylee, I'll hand it off to you.
And welcome very much from the committee, Kaylee. Thank you for coming to share this with us.
Thank you so much. Bear with me while I try to figure out how to share my presentation.
Kaylee, if you're not seeing the green share button, try more. Kaylee, if you're having issues, just let me know. I can see if I could pull it up for you.
I think that can we see?
Yes, we can see it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So good afternoon. My name is Kaylee Lundy, as Michael introduced. I am the election coordinator with the City of Cambridge for the 2026 municipal and school board election. I've come here to the committee to discuss the potential voting methods and their accessibility considerations. So the purpose of this presentation is to review the voting methods that will be presented to council and to consider accessibility needs and voting methods, and to gather the committee's feedback to inform the alternative voting methods report to council. So under the Elections Act, one of the guiding principles is that the election must be accessible to all voters to ensure inclusive participation and to uphold a voter's right to cast their ballot barrier-free. Our goal is a continuous effort to ensure that all eligible voters can independently, privately, and confidently cast their ballots on election day. Lastly, considering accessibility throughout the election planning process impacts our community by strengthening opportunities for democratic participation. Sorry. So for voting methods, I'll now go through each of the voting methods and how they work. So for the paper ballot with manual count, it is a traditional method that does not include any alternative method. So the process is as follows. Voters arrive at the designated voting location, check in with an election official. Voters will receive a paper ballot and indicate their choices with a permanent marker or pen. They then place the ballot into a secure sleeve before placing it into the ballot box, which is collected and placed by the election official. And at the conclusion of voting, election staff members perform a manual count of each ballot. So for the paper ballot, so this alternative method is the use of paper ballot in conjunction with an optical scan tabulator. So this method is similar to the previous one with a few of the following differences. Voters have the option to mark their ballots with a permanent marker by hand or utilize an auto mark tabulator. These features include paddles of voice read instructions and options, sip and puff, and more. After voters have completed marking their ballots, they insert it is inserted into the tabulator, which drops into the ballot box. As ballots are processed, the tabulator scans each ballot for errors and counts the results of each ballot. Errors that are made are found overvotes, undervotes, unclear marks, and more. So lastly, for internet voting process, voters registered onto the voters list will receive a secure PIN and instructions via the mail. Voters log in from any internet connected device. Each race will be divided onto its own page and receive an overview of votes selected prior to casting their ballot. The vote is securely recorded and the voter receives a confirmation message. So the following accessibility considerations have been included in past elections and will be included in the upcoming election, depending on the method utilized. So for paper ballot with manual count, accessibility materials and environments such as visual aids like magnifiers, well-equipped voting stations, and trained staff to support electors. For paper ballot with a tabulator, this method includes all accessibility considerations from the paper ballot method with manual count method, plus properly placed equipment and accessible tabulators to support independent voting for all eligible voters. And lastly, for internet voting, compliance with the AODA and web-based guidelines like compatibility with assistive technology, customizable visual settings, and clear plain language guidances. So each method of the voting has its own sets of benefits and limitations regards to voter accessibility. For paper ballot with manual count, this is a well-known method and potentially simple method. It involves using tools such as magnifying sheets and receiving assistance from election officials or chosen individuals. This method also has potential to compromise voter independency by necessitating assistance from another individual to read or mark the ballot. Additionally, in absence of tools to assess ballots for errors, there's an increased probability of rejected ballots where the marks are indistinguishable, or in cases where the voter is misunderstood the instructions, or an election official counting the ballots has misinterpreted the marks. So for the paper ballot with a tabulator, this method fosters greater autonomy and confidentiality in the voting process by enabling voters to use an auto-mark tabulator to mark their own ballots. Additionally, the tabulator will indicate these errors, allowing the voters the opportunity to make any changes without revealing their vote. Some barriers may persist due to equipment malfunctions, physical setup challenges, limited deployment of the AutoMark tabulator, and potential user hesitancy with the technology. And lastly, for internet voting, this method is convenient and flexible, allows voters to cast their ballot privately from home without travel barriers on their preferred devices and schedule. There may be some accessibility and support challenges to consider, including device compatibility, vendor compliance with accessibility standards, the need for reliable technology and internet access, and the availability of real-time assistance. The recommendation we're looking to provide to Council in the upcoming methods report is a hybrid method of paper ballot with tabulator and internet voting. The City of Cambridge has employed this hybrid method for over a decade, ensuring a high level of voter familiarity. This approach of voting method strikes a balance between accessibility, independence, and reliability during the voting period. Internet voting allows individuals to participate remotely and privately using assistive technology, while tabulators provide on-site accessible devices and immediate feedback. By working together, they can meet AODA standards, reduce errors, and support a wide range of voter needs. So the at-home voting program was established in 2022, enabling eligible voters to request the presence of an election official at their place of residence to facilitate the voting. Staff recognize the significance of this program as it provides an invaluable service by enabling voters who are unable to attend voting locations to cast their votes from the confidence of their own home. Therefore, the city will continue to provide this at-home voting program in the 2026 election. So regarding next steps, following this presentation, we will gather any feedback from the committee. This feedback will be incorporated into the staff report on voting methods and recommendations to council. Council will determine the final voting method or methods for the 2026 election and will be required to pass a bylaw regarding alternative methods by May 1st, 2026. And staff will continue to consult with the committee regarding future review of accessibility in the 2026 election. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Kaylee. We are going to go to the floor for some questions. We have CJ who's lifted up her hand. Go ahead, CJ.
Thank you, Kaylee. I appreciate your presentation. Some feedback from personal experience as a wheelchair user. One of the issues that I have experienced is they set up sort of an accessible spot, but there isn't enough turning room to actually get behind the table in a secure or easy manner. So there needs to be more thought placement for distances and space required for the maneuverability of assistive devices in and out of whatever accessible booth that you want to have. And maybe in that accessible booth, if you want to have the fancier system and a paper ballot sort of side by each, so people can pick and choose which is their preferred method, all at the same accessible station.
Yes, thank you so much for that comment, and we'll definitely consider that down the line when we're reviewing our locations.
Thank you very much, CJ. I did have one question as well, Kaylee. I noticed when we had provincial and federal elections that they picked different locations, and it's not always 100% the same locations. And some are a little trickier to get in than others. So to sort of piggyback on what CJ said, outside sometimes is a little tricky to get into as well. So I'm not sure if that's something that could be looked at too. The ease of entry, is there a proper ramp, that type of thing. And because if you don't have somebody with you, and you're trying to navigate all this stuff, sometimes it can get a little tricky. So perhaps some additional checks and balances could be done as well as to the building. Some of them are older, some of them are schools, some of them are churches. And it's very good to encourage the community buildings in our community, but just to make sure that everybody is okay. So, all right. That would be my.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely be talking about locations further down the line in regards to accessibility. Today's focus is on the methods, but I will say to you, we do rigorous inspections of our locations as well as part of our post-election accessibility report from 2022. We are looking to ensure that all locations are fully accessible.
And in your recommendation, did you come up with some statistics as to why the hybrid and internet methods seem to be better? Is that the one that seems to work the most effectively, or?
So it's less statistics and rather more general pros and balances of what these systems are capable of.
Okay. And once you make a determination as to the sort of the final plan, how, I guess for people who don't vote often or it's their first time voting and everything else, will there be some sort of approach either on the city website or some sort of information that will be available to people who are doing this for the first time, maybe using this sort of hybrid type system and everything else, just so that they can be comfortable? And you mentioned sometimes there's a bit of reluctance by some people to use some of these things. So has that been mapped out as well?
Yeah, so the So I will say that the hybrid system has been used in Cambridge over the last decade. So we started using tabulator and online voting in 2014, and we've actually been using the tabulator since the early 90s. So it will be a familiar system for Cambridge residents who have been with us for a long time, but we
Okay.
definitely do plan on implementing some educational materials and some more outreach to ensure that everyone's familiar with the voting methods once council makes their decision.
Thank you very much, Kaylee. We have Councillor Corey Kimpton. Corey, would you had a question? Corey, you had your hand up? Your microphone is muted, Corey.
Gary,
All
maybe
right.
the counselor might just need a minute. Maybe we should go to Farshid and then we can
Well,
and see if
yeah,
Counselor
we
Gibson's
can
ready
come back.
after.
We can come back. Farshid, by all means, go ahead.
Hello, thank you so much for the presentation. I really, really appreciate all of the feedbacks and comments. That's exactly what we need. I just wanted to address that the working group has been formed and the accessibility portfolio is a part of that from the very beginning, which I really appreciate not only as a person holding this, but also as a person with disability. I would like to do it, hassle-free, and we have been in touch with other municipalities to see what they do and learn from them and have the, very clear way of training our staff. So, for example, to your point, Gary, if someone is going to a community center, which they might know that it is a problem with them or they don't have any companion with them, they can be in touch with the person in charge on this, and then there is a training. So the supervisor of that site knows that you will go at this specific time of the day. They will be ready for you. They will come out even to your car. Even you don't need to come out of your car and do that. So there are very, very many possibilities that we were talking not only within our working group, but also with other municipalities like Oakville. So these comments and suggestions that you make will enable us to see different scenarios and just be prepared for everything as best as we can.
Thank you very much, Farshid.
No problem.
Corey, I'm just wondering if you're able to get back on, or if
Yes.
there's
Yes,
okay.
I am. Thank you so much. I had to join from my phone and it's obviously different, a little tricky getting to the right spot. Farsh, thank you very much for your presentation, Kaylee, and through you, Mr. Chair. Farshid may have answered my question, but I'm wondering, is the drive-through voting method going to be available? Because that's another way to make it easier for folks if they go to one of the predetermined areas and don't need to leave their vehicles.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your question. We're not considering locations and how they're being facilitated at this point in time, but we've always had the drive up method for people with accessibility concerns that may not be able to leave their vehicle. I'm not too sure about the drive-through method itself that we deployed in 2022. Yeah, this presentation is mostly focused on to the voting methods, so we will definitely have some more answers in regards to locations once our voting methods have been determined.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Excellent. So are there any more questions for for Kaylee, our guest, for the election methods? If not, we would like to certainly thank her for her presentation and providing us the insight of the different approaches that are being considered and what we'll be looking forward to seeing, as well as once they determine the locations, we'll be able to see where we all get the opportunity to go vote. So that will be very good. So thank you very much again. And if there's not anything else, we'd like to, I think, Michael, move to the next guest, which is the Region of Waterloo, the Waste Management Strategy.
Yeah,
Again,
that's
Kaylee,
perfect.
thank you.
Thanks, and thanks, Kaylee. Thanks, Gary. And we do have Tracy just in the room with us. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you for having me here this afternoon. Just remind me, I provided you my slides. Will you be sharing them or would you like me to?
If you could, that would help me out a great deal.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just. Okay, so just want to make sure everyone can see my screen.
We can see it.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much to Cambridge Accessibility Advisory Committee for having me here today. I'm the project manager for the Waste Management Long-Term Strategic Review and Update, and I'm here to talk trash with you folks, but also educate you about where we're at in this important project for our waste division and our community, and how you can have your say and get involved. So. What is the purpose and the goals? We've come a long way with the implementation of our 2013 strategy recommendations. However, with our growing community as well as a number of regulatory changes, it was appropriate to have a refresh of our long-term strategy. So the purpose and goals are to establish a 25-year framework to minimize our environmental impacts, to manage waste sustainably, responsibly, and affordably, and to align with provincial and federal regulations, to promote a circular economy, to improve system efficiencies, to enhance public awareness and engagement, and to foster collaboration and explore partnerships and better understanding how can we divert waste, how can we reduce waste, and what is the region's waste management's role in helping that going forward. And I do see there's a question in the chat. Perhaps what I'll do is just give my very brief overview and take questions at the end, just because it'll be hard to interrupt and monitor the chat as well.
And sorry, Tracy, it's no problem. I think that was in relation to the previous
okay.
item. So you're good, and we'll hold questions till the end.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you. So in terms of the mission and guiding principles for this project, we revisited our 2013 strategy, mission, and guiding principles and updated them to reflect the current times. So our mission is to develop a sustainable and inclusive long-term waste management strategy in consultation with our community that is environmentally, socially, and fiscally responsible while meeting our current and future needs. And we will do this through collaboration with community and region partners to achieve climate and energy consumption reduction targets, to align with our waste management services with the principles of a circular economy, and to explore new and additional opportunities to reduce waste. So what is a circular economy? Perhaps some of you folks on this call have been hearing about this, and I certainly have touched on it in our guiding principles. That's an economy where instead of it being a take, make, dispose, linear economy, circular means that we try and minimize waste and pollution by keeping products, appliances, materials, and items in use for as long as possible. So it follows the principles of reducing consumption, repairing and refurbishing, recycling, renewable energy, and finding ways to keep and repurposing products before they ultimately go to landfill. So that's what we're trying to do here, is continuously repurpose for as long as possible. So just a little bit about where we're at in this project. We kicked off the project in the fall of 2024 with a consultant, and we completed phase 1 engagement in May of this year, where we really built the foundation. And during our phase 1 engagement, we took the opportunity to engage with residents and businesses across the region to help them understand what is the current state of our waste management system, and most importantly, start to generate ideas that we can consider throughout this long-term strategy update. We're currently in phase 2, which is when we're evaluating the possibilities. And our consultant has identified a number of approaches to address gaps and needs that have been identified, and building on the feedback that we received during phase 1 engagement. And now we're engaging across the region with residents and businesses to hear, what do people support? What are we maybe missing? And basically, the highest ranking options will be considered in the final long-term strategy that we take forward. So we're hoping to come back to the community to complete a final phase of engagement in the winter of 2026. And that's where we'll be presenting the draft long-term strategy, as well as receiving feedback on our implementation plan. And finally, we hope to go to council for approval in spring of 2026. So for those of you on this committee that may not be aware of our waste management system, since the region was formed in 1973, we provide municipal waste services, and that consists of a number of services, being residential waste collection, diversion, and disposal to eligible residences. So those people in our community that live in single dwelling homes, as well as up to units with 6+ units. We also operate 1 active landfill and 2 active small vehicle transfer stations. And so we do receive industrial, commercial, and institutional waste, and we do offer diversion programs to those customers as well. We do long-term strategic planning, and that's the purpose of what my job is, and the engagement that we're doing with the community. And as well, so we operate 2 active sites and monitor for environmental purposes several closed landfills. And we have a number of engineering controls, being landfill gas controls, leachate collection system controls, remedial groundwater extraction system controls at our 2 active sites, and some of our closed sites as well. Just a quick overview of our facilities and services. Shown in the left-hand photo is an aerial of our Cambridge Waste Management Center. We monitor a former closed landfill there. We operate a small vehicle transfer station, as well as a bulk transfer station. So any resident and business waste that is received at the Cambridge site is bulk transferred to our Waterloo landfill for ultimate disposal. And we also have our centralized composting operations. That's where all the leaf and yard waste goes and is composted. The next photo is our Waterloo Waste Management Center. And in the top left-hand corner of the photo is where we're actively landfilling. We also operate a small vehicle transfer station, and all the green bin organics that are picked up curbside in the region are bulk transferred out of the small vehicle transfer station. This is what curbside collection looks like for our eligible residences. And as well, we have a number of diversion programs at our 2 small vehicle transfer stations, where we take household hazardous waste, large bulky items, electronic waste, drywall, pallets, etc. This I find very interesting. From time to time, my colleagues complete residential waste audits, and I find this picture in the left side very telling. So based on the 2018-2019 residential waste audit, about 41% of the audit contents truly was residual waste that should be handled in the landfill. However, 46% of the waste could have been diverted through our Green Bin Organics program, as well as 13% of the waste stream could have been diverted through our existing Blue Box program. So although our residents are doing a great job and we have one of the highest provincial waste diversion rates, there's more we can and should be doing on the residential side of things. A large gap that we had, though, was what is the composition of our industrial, commercial, and institutional customers, given that they're 60% of our waste stream. So concurrently with the long-term strategic review, the consultant has conducted two-season waste audit. And just a high level from the spring 2025, over 30% of the materials received are construction, renovation, and demolition materials. Roughly 19% of that waste stream are plastic materials that either can or cannot be recycled, just under 13% paper, and 13.5% organic materials, as well as bulky items, metals, textiles, electronic waste, glass, and other items. I won't read off the 20 draft options being considered, but shown here is what we're engaging with our residents and businesses about throughout the month of September. So I'll provide to you a link that you can go into after this meeting and have your say and let us know what options do you support, what options are we maybe overlooking, and please have your say and get involved. So I just wanted to let you know, here are my contact coordinates. I'd be happy to provide my slides to Michael for distribution. But if you have any follow-up questions that I don't answer here today, this is how you can contact me. As well as have your say and get involved. The survey's open until October 3rd. I'm trying to have 3% of the region's population complete the survey. That way I know that we've engaged with a good cross section of our community. So you can register to receive notices and take the survey at Engage Waterloo Region wr.ca/LTWMS. And wanted to highlight the public engagement events throughout this month. We've completed 4 workshops with an internal and external advisory committee, as well as I'm really excited about the 2 waste reduction exploration workshops we held a couple weeks ago. Again, just to hear all the great work that's being done to foster a circular economy in our region. We've been out to an event in each area municipality to talk to residents and the public. And again, I mentioned we have that survey. So how will your feedback be incorporated? Our consultant is going to summarize all the feedback that we received, and they're going to work that into the draft recommendations that they put forward, and we come back to the public in phase 3. So that's how your feedback will be used. So with that, that was really all I had for you here today. I'm not sure, Michael, if we have time for a few questions.
We do.
I'm sorry, Gary, I think could we just recess? Something's just going on here in the office. Gary, could we just do we ask for a 10-minute recess and then get back to questions, if that'd be all right?
That would be fine. Let's take a 10-minute recess, everybody.
Okay, so sorry.
We will be back with our question period for Tracy.
Okay, thank you, everybody. The live stream will still be running. If you could just all mute your cameras and microphones, please. Thank you. Tracy, I'm just going to take your screen down just for now. Gary, I'm just wondering, when we have everybody back, I just need to address the committee very quickly before we continue.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. I apologize for asking for that recess so suddenly. I just wanted to inform the committee there's just been an incident at City Hall. We've been instructed to just conclude the meeting as soon as we can. So I'm wondering if we could, any questions and comments, if we could direct those towards Tracy. We won't be able to proceed with the rest of our agenda after this. We do have a very brief staff update we'll have to do, but we will have to adjourn after that. So Gary, if we could get through questions and comments now, that'd be great.
I'd like to encourage everyone, in keeping with what Michael just said, if we could provide Tracy with any questions that we may have in reference to her presentation on the waste management strategy. If we have any other comments, we've got Allison. Allison, go ahead.
Yeah, just really quickly, I didn't notice it in the slides that you presented, but something to keep in mind as you're going forward. And I will do the survey, but how medical waste is going to be handled for those who are creating more waste at home through incontinence materials, wound care materials, those types of things, and what can possibly be done, because that is a pretty significant amount of waste that does get created.
Yes, thank you, Allison, for your question. I do believe that there is an existing medical waste exemption, and people can recognizing that that is an issue currently. I do believe that people can make application for that exemption currently. So just would direct you to our waste management website for assistance with that.
Right,
But thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. We have CJ.
Yeah, just a quick comment in referring back to a previous presentation about the bins and stuff. For the most part, those bins are not accessible. They're either too heavy or they're top loading. And I don't work over my shoulders very well. So trying to get that lid to go over is something that still needs to be looked at, and or maybe a few automated ones, powered ones may need to be brought into an existence. Just something to mention.
Okay. Noted, CJ. Thank you very much. The long-term waste management strategy isn't looking at collection per se. However, you are correct with the carts. I do want to relay that for individuals that do need assistance, application can be applied again through the Region's Waste Management website for assistance with any collection items. And as well, I would like to mention if anyone requires assistance with completing the survey, please email me, and we can arrange for someone to walk you through it as well. If that's, I know we provided that during our phase 1 survey, so happy to do that again.
Very good. Thank you very much, Tracy. Are there any other questions or comments for Tracy? Tracy, I'd like to thank you very much on behalf of the committee, and also on behalf of the Region of Waterloo, for sending you here and giving us an overview of what's coming down the pike. It's always nice to be able to review it before it happens and provide any type of thoughts or ideas or ask questions. And I thank you very much for you coming today.
Thank you for having me, Gary, and to the committee. All the best.
Thank you,
very
Tracy.
much.
Bye-bye.
So we, as Michael mentioned, we have had an unfortunate incident that they need to address. I think the last point today will be the staff liaison update. Michael, I believe, is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to close it down. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. And I believe we have Farshid here to speak to that.
Farshid?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. I tried to be very, very brief, given the circumstances at City Hall. So, multi-year accessibility plan has been updated based on all the feedback we gathered, and then it was for a relatively long time under the review of all of the leadership and directors, and it is about to be finalized. We're just waiting for a very final design and then the remediation of the file. All that being said, on Tuesday, October 14th, we have the presentation of the plan to the council. And I would like to ask AAC chair, the co-chairs and the members if they would like to be with us and be a delegation to talk about the plan and also endorse the plan if they would like. We appreciate your support through this journey, and it would be very helpful and heartwarming for me personally and for all of us to have you all or whomever wants and is able to be there with us.
Well, I will attend if you need my presence or if you need any signed documents. And I was going to propose that if we're signing any documents, I'd also like CJ to sign the document with me as the co-chair, so that we are sort of united front. CJ, if you're okay with that, and so, but I will definitely be physically there if certainly I can assist in any way.
Thank you so much, Gary. We are very grateful for the help of all of the committee and both co-chairs, including yourself, because you always have been very helpful. And we thank you and CJ and all the committee members for their dedication and help.
So CJ is making actually a good point. If you can, if you were able to send a general email to everybody with the actual time, date, requirement, where to be, how to be, and maybe that would be helpful for everybody to sort of gauge their actual availability for she. Then we'd be able to give you a snapshot. 5 people are coming, 4 people are coming. Or maybe that would be.
Yeah, that can be done, and we will do that as soon as we can.
Thank you very, very much.
Jump in here, Farshid. Are we asking for a delegation, or are we asking for a letter? Or are we just asking for attendance? I just want to be clear, just for the minutes, what we're asking
if we want to
for.
go, as the same we did for the FAD, I would like to ask for a delegation.
Okay. I'm wondering if we could just do, I don't think we necessarily need a vote for this, but just maybe Gary, by consensus here, if there's any opposition to you and or CJ being delegates, if we could just look for that. And then otherwise, I think we're good with you and CJ attending.
Okay.
Is there any opposition to that, or the committee okay with Gary and CJ delegating on behalf of the committee? I see lots of thumbs up and nods, so that's wonderful. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so much.
Thank you, Farshid. And Gary, at this point, we're just going to look to adjourn. So if we could just have a motion to adjourn the meeting, that'd be great.
All right, if we could have a motion to adjourn. Okay, we have CJ, and it's seconded by Sarah. And Allison was quick, but not as quick as Sarah today. So you know, it was close, but so there you go.
I'll just quickly take the vote on that. Allison?
In favor.
Shannon?
In favor.
Sarah?
In favor.
Thank you. CJ?
In favor?
Barry?
In favor.
Heather?
In favor.
And Gary?
In favor.
Okay, and that carries. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Take care, everyone. I hope everybody.
Thank you very much. Hope everything goes well.